How we doing, everybody? How we doing? Today is Wednesday, March 10th, 2021. Just coming to you live for a real estate talk on Wednesday night here. We usually focus on self-directed IRAs. So if you're someone that has an IRA with a company and your job, if you have a IRA outside of your company, you have something personal that you set up, we try to talk to you about self-directing your IRA. Um, I don't know if a lot of people know about this, but it is a topic that I'm trying to make more people aware, especially now when a lot of people who are working were laid off. Maybe you were working at a particular company, and due to COVID, you were laid off, but that company did do a company-sponsored retirement account, and maybe that account is still with that company. I mean, you're still entitled to that money. Maybe you have an outside account, but there are ways that you can use that money to continue to invest, even though you may not work at the company, or if you have something outside of your company, you should consider moving it into a self-directed IRA. Self-directed IRA works the same, pretty much the same way as a regular IRA that you get with your company. The only difference is that you have a broader spectrum of investment opportunities. You're not just pigeonholed to paper assets and publicly traded assets. You're able to invest in things like real estate, businesses, other companies, other things outside of just publicly traded assets. And I think that people really should take advantage of this at this particular time. Also, if you have made tremendous gains in the stock market, maybe you want to take that money that you gained in the stock market and put it in a self-directed IRA and allow it to grow tax-free or tax-deferred in an account such as a self-directed IRA. I think that some of the tax laws are probably going to change under this new administration. So certain gains that you get, capital gains, is probably going to be taxed a little bit more. So I think there's another opportunity with people who made some gains in the stock market and different investments. If you did do some real estate deals during this time, you want to take those gains and put them in a self-directed IRA so you can continue to invest and just do it with a lot of tax benefits depending on which account, again, that you use. What account you use obviously will be up to what it is that you're trying to accomplish. If you do need some assistance with that, there's a couple of companies that I work with that can help you pick out the right type of self-directed IRA account to open up. Also, you can use a Coverdell education account. A lot of people may not know that. Maybe you did start that, again, through your job or just through an outside company. You have a child, and when the child was born, you started an account, and maybe they're 6, 7 years old, whatever the case may be, and this account is there for, when they go for higher education. You still have some time to be able to use those funds to invest in a broader spectrum of opportunities, and you'll see that money most likely grow faster, and then you can actually grow it more safely, especially with things like real estate. Obviously, if you analyze the deal and look at it and everything makes sense, you can get some really good returns on that money. And like I said, because you have some time before the child goes to either a private school for high school or off to college, you can do some investing with it. You can also invest with a health savings account. Don't know if a lot of people know that. Again, maybe you've worked at a company for a number of years, always had this account set up, but you're somebody who's in good health, don't really use it to buy a lot of medical, have a lot of medical expenses, and money has been gaining. You can take that money from your health savings account to invest. So again, just trying to get people to be aware of all of the different options that are out there, different things that you can do and take advantage of. Again, if you have a smaller balanced IRA, there's things that you can do with that. There's different ways to leverage that money. Also, I don't know if people know, but you can also borrow. You can also get a loan against your IRA money. There's not a lot of lenders that do it, but there are some out there that will lend you money based on the money that you have in your IRA. So you can leverage that money to do, other deals, hopefully other real estate deals, and do other investments. So just trying to bring this topic to people. Hopefully it brings some value to you. If you're not someone that has an IRA or any type of retirement account like that, hopefully you can pass this on to somebody who does, and somebody who would like to see their accounts grow faster and more safely. We'd like to talk to those people and get them involved in some opportunities that we find. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the restricted or prohibited, the restrictions on the IRA or self-directed IRA, and some of the prohibited transactions. When you think about an IRA is actually separate from a self-directed IRA is separate from you as the person. So me, Gilbert Ross, is separate from Gilbert Ross self-directed IRA. So therefore, some of the restrictions is that I can't sell, trade, sell, trade, loan, or extend services to my own IRA. I'm not allowed to do that. That is a prohibited transaction. And it's also prohibited for what they call lineal descendants. So these are the people that are restricted from sell, trading, loaning, or doing some type of service that benefit the IRA. And this is pretty much like your grandparents, your spouse, your children, your children's spouses, or any business that any one of those individuals are affiliated with. They are not able to do business with your IRA. Now, if those people have have IRAs in their own name, a separate, if they have an IRA themselves, like your grandparents' IRA, so to speak, or your wife's IRA, so to speak, our IRAs can put money together to do deals and transactions. But I can't, I can't, as a husband, you can't sell something into your wife's IRA. That type of thing is prohibited. So you have to be careful doing that. Again, when you think about investing in something, and if you have a good self-directed IRA company, they will make sure that you are following the rules and you're not breaking any laws and rules of the IRA so it'll come back and penalize you later. But that, just so you know, those are some of the people that you can't do business with, or you can't do business with companies that are associated with these people. And again, some of the prohibited transactions, again, you can't sell, buy, trade, loan, or extend services with the IRA or receive any benefit directly or indirectly. But again, you are able to put together IRAs from your family members. I could have an IRA, a spouse can have an IRA, my child can have an IRA, and we can take money from each of those accounts to go ahead and do a transaction, do a deal or something like that, or invest in something. And it's kind of broken up any type of profits. In this case, if there was 3 people, it'd be 33, and then one person would be 34%. So that's how it would be broken up. So, and then there's also investment restrictions. There's certain things that you're not allowed to invest in with a self-directed IRA. And those are life insurance contracts and collectibles, such as artwork, rugs, antiques, metals, gems, alcoholic beverages. Why? Couldn't tell you why. That's just, what are some of the things that you can't do. Some of the investments that you can't invest in. You can't take your IRA and go buy a painting and leave it in your IRA, or an antique rug or something like that. These are things that you can't do. So, these are just, an overview, trying to give people a basic knowledge of self-directing your IRA and some of the things that you can and can't do with it. Some of the investments that you can do, obviously you can do real estate with single families, foreclosures, commercial properties, condos, options, unimproved land, and tax liens. So again, if you have a smaller IRA, you can use that to go buy a tax lien wherever you live. A tax lien a lot of times has 20 plus percent return on investment if you buy it. So that may be something that you may want to do with a smaller balanced IRA. If you have maybe less than $5,000 or something like that in there, you can go down and, a lot of times you can buy tax liens. And if you don't buy them in your certain state or city, there are opportunities all across the country that you can kind of go and buy. And then once you buy it, that person has to pay you whatever interest is associated with it. So these are some of the things that we really need to start thinking about doing to help our retirement accounts. A lot of people are, investing, hoping that the stock market and letting money sit for 30 years and then hopefully when they're 65, 70 years old that there's enough money that has built up because they worked to last them in their retirement years. And you're starting to see that that's not necessarily the case. There's some people right now who are retiring, and when you look at what they're being paid per month as opposed to the cost of living, it's getting tighter and tighter as the years goes on. Some of the calculations that they had when they put these programs out for the company match, IRA and retirement accounts and things like that, they were projecting certain things that are not necessarily all the time coming to fruition. That's why you're seeing a lot more older people still having to work and do different things like that, because their retirement accounts don't necessarily have enough money to pay for the lifestyle that they'd like to live. And obviously with everything going on currently, the money printing, the spending, this may be an even greater issue for people who are in my generation or younger than me, once they get to retirement age. Retirement may not be something that any of us will be allowed to do unless you are, obviously wealthy. So in order to combat that, we need to look at other ways of making sure accounts are growing and they're growing at a good rate for when we do retire. And being involved in, real estate, a lot of times, that's what I'm most familiar with, is a good way to kind of get there, and using these accounts to do that. And again, just because you may have a smaller account doesn't necessarily mean that you can't get involved in some form of the real estate field, um, to start investing. And then obviously you just want to continue, catch some momentum, do a deal here, do a deal there, see it grow, and then start doing, possibly larger deals as time goes on. So it's nothing wrong, obviously if you're working, that's great. Not everybody is going to be a entrepreneur or self-employed person. So the people that are at work, they do have to, also use these accounts and get the most out of them. And I just am afraid that a lot of the projections going forward are not gonna have people put them in a position to live how they may want to live, and especially with everything, like I said, that's going on currently with government spending and a lot of the pensions right now. If you read that book, Who Stole My Pension by Robert Kiyosaki, you check out a guy named Ted Siedel. That's Siedl. I think that's how you spell his name. Him and Robert Kiyosaki wrote a book called Who Stole My Pension. Most of the pensions in a lot of states are really underfunded. They invested in a lot of risky investments in the stock market, and they're not getting the returns that they were anticipating. And so, at that particular time, what you may have been promised, maybe $5,000 a month or $6,000 a month, that could be cut in half or even less. So, I just, like I said, I just want to, I don't hate to be the bearer of bad news or anything like that, but, if then you have a chance to make some adjustments, do some other things. And one of the ways to do that is with a self-directed IRA. And there's a lot of opportunity, especially when it comes to real estate, to, make sure that you're investing in things that are making your account grow and are growing more safely. And then what I talked about before, too, is that you get a chance to invest in your community. There's a lot of businesses that really need help. There's a lot of online businesses, new entrepreneurs, new things going on that you can use your IRA to invest in, things that you see could help your community and things that are coming in the future. If you're somebody who, can see trends and different opportunities, you want to take advantage of your ability to notice an opportunity and be able to put your dollars where you see they'll get where they'll get the most bang for the buck, so to speak. So as opposed to letting a third party company take the money, put it in Wall Street and put it in the stock market and hope that everything works out. It's not a terrible plan. I don't want to speak too badly of stockbrokers and being in stocks and things of that nature, because obviously the stock market has been on a great run for the last 3, 4, maybe 5 years. Been on a steady trajectory. Has been going up, which is great. But maybe you just want to diversify. That's another thing that we talk about when it comes to self-directed IRA. It allows you to diversify. So if you do have other investments in other places and you're making money, maybe you want to pull some money from there, put it over into a self-directed IRA and have a little bit more control over what goes on, and then weigh your options, from year to year. What is my self-directed IRA doing compared to my stock portfolio, compared to, the mutual funds or whatever else you decide to invest in, and then you can, weigh the pros and cons on a year-to-year basis. I'm just a little leery of the stock market, but it has been on a great run, and I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there that have made some good money. But when it goes down, it could hurt. A lot of the gains that you make, the 20%, 30% gains, if they go down, then, when you look at from year to year or over a certain period of time, you may have gained 5%. and if you move it into, more real estate driven assets, you can increase those returns to closer to double digits on a consistent basis. No matter what the market is, there's always an opportunity in real estate. You just have to pivot on what it is that you want to do. Sometimes it's a fix and flip market like it has been for the last 2, 3, 4 years. Other times it's better to maybe buy and hold. You know, so, obviously rents too right now are going up. So being a landlord has had its benefits, but then COVID hit. So then you have a chance to, with a self-directed IRA, you have some liquidity where you can be able to move money into different things. If you rode a good wave of rental properties, maybe you want to exit out of those and, move into another part of real estate where there's some more opportunity. So, that's why I try to come on here, just to share the information. Hopefully, people will share this with their friends and family. And, if you have questions, I'm here on Monday nights and Wednesday night at 8 p.m. On Mondays, we talk about real estate note investing. I really want to try and put these two together. I would like people to get a self-directed IRA and invest in real estate notes. There's an opportunity now. There's probably going to be an opportunity over the next 1 to 2 years, to really take advantage of some of the current market conditions. But if you don't want to do notes and you want to do something else in real estate, we have the ability to steer you in the right direction and help you with that as well. But I want to try and, just bring these two together, because I think they work very well together. Taking money, putting it in an IRA, and then investing in a real estate note. And obviously if you don't do a note, again, there's some other opportunities, in the real estate field, especially for lower, what's the word I'm looking for? Smaller accounts. Accounts that don't have 50, 60, 70, $100,000 in it. Maybe you only got $10,000 in there, 7,000. There's some things that you can do where you can charge a really good interest rate and move money quickly. So don't think that, because you have a small balance IRA that you can't do anything. And again, like I said, people that got laid off, you can get those accounts back up and working for you. You just get those things transferred over. It's not a difficult process. And then you can get that money out to work. And like I said, there is opportunity out there, just depending on what it is that you want to do and your goals and everything like that. But we'd like to talk to you about it. If you have any questions, this piqued your interest a little bit, please reach out. My telephone number is 973-475-8488. Or you can email me at acg@abundancecapitalgroup.com. I'm on Mondays and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. as well as 8 p.m. And then on Fridays, I'm on at 1 p.m. I go live answering questions, trying to talk about relevant topics, things that I think of interest to people, or should be of interest to people, keeping them aware of things that are going on. Tomorrow, if you're watching this today, this is the 10th of March 11th, 6 p.m. I'll be at the Ashbrook Tavern at the Ashbrook Golf Course, 6 p.m. to about 7:30, in-person networking event. If you want to come and talk about, real estate, meet some people that are in real estate, you just want to get out the house a little bit. We are still doing social distancing. We do have masks, but we're trying to get people back out. And this location is an open location, has plenty of space to keep everybody separated. And we got to get back to talking to each other and networking with each other like we were before the pandemic. And found a place, very nice place, Hopefully tomorrow, I think the weather's going to be pretty nice. So if you want to come out, it's at 1210 Raritan. I think that's Raritan Avenue in Scotch Plains. Either Raritan Avenue or Raritan Avenue or Raritan Street in Scotch Plains. But if you Google Ashbrook Tavern, the address will come up. Hope to see you there. They have food and they do have a bar as well. So if you want to grab a drink, maybe get yourself something to bite to eat and just come out for a little while, that's where we'll be. And with that being said, that's it for tonight. If you have any questions, comments, please put them in. Any feedback from me, I really appreciate it. Again, if you refer this to somebody, just have them tell me who referred you or them to me. And if we wind up doing any type of transaction, I will give a referral gift to the person that referred them. So with that being said, everybody have a good night. Stay safe, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.